Hi, and welcome to this week's From the Vault episode from the Magdalen House podcast. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization based in Dallas, Texas, and known affectionately by many as Maggie's. Every first and third Wednesday, we share an episode from one of our 3 podcast series. In our From the Vault episodes, we share past podcast releases from our 3 different podcast series: Recover Ed, Recovered, Interviews with Alcoholics, and Hope for the Family. Our podcasts aim to connect, inspire, and educate alcoholics, loved ones, and the community to the Magdalen House and the services we offer. We are so glad you're here. Thanks for listening.
Hello, podcast listeners. My name is Stephanie Crawford, and I am the host of this here podcast, Recovered, Interviews with Alcoholic Women. And today I'm going to be talking to Stacie, who I'm so excited about. Fun fact, she actually did this before it was ever a podcast.
I did.
So you have practice.
I do.
I know she came highly recommended by Ainsley. From what I know, you have an amazing story and experience to share. So thank you so much for being here with us today.
Of course. I love it.
And so my first question is just always if you can give us a little bit of background information about yourself, like what your drinking looked like and just what led you to a place to get sober. And then we'll just go from there. So
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So I as I mentioned earlier, I was not always an alcoholic drinker. I started off super moderately. And so it took me by surprise. I started drinking in my 30s when I found myself newly single. So I got married really young and, had my babies, went to college, became a teacher. I was doing what I was supposed to do, living life, and everything was fine, pretty mediocre, And then my husband left. And I found myself in my 30s having to date for the first time as an adult. I'd known him since I was 17. And so what do? You go out for drinks. Mm-hmm. And so I did that. I dated like it was a marathon sport. And I was going for drinks a lot. And it was great. Like, it was a lot of fun for a very short amount of time. I found myself drinking more than other people. I would always get drunk. I wasn't having just a couple of drinks. I was drunk. But again, it was manageable until it wasn't. And so I would say it took about 6 months. And that part in the book where it says that women often are beyond recognizable in a short time. That was me. So I was really confused about what was happening, because I was that person that would occasionally go to dinner and have a drink, and if I was really liking it, I would order another one but wouldn't finish it. And I think about that now, and I'm like, how did that ever happen? Because at the end, that was not my experience. So when it started becoming a problem, I thought, well, obviously, my husband has just left me. My mom is sick. My kids are not with me all the time. I have to share custody. My life is not what I wanted it to be. And so, of course, that's why I'm drinking like this. I was poor, pitiful me. And so, I thought anyway, the drinking just got out of hand. It got worse and worse. It started affecting every part of my life. Like, I was getting in trouble at work, and because I was calling in, I was sick. And then I got to within one school year, I went at the beginning where it was kind of an issue to the end. They had to fire me a week before school was over because I was drunk at school. Mm. And they don't like that. No. They don't like that. And so it was obviously something was going on. And so in 1 month, my mom passed away. I had a wreck, a DWI wreck. My boyfriend, who was living with me at the time, left me. I lost custody of my kids school put me on an action plan. So that was in 1 month.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was not going well. And so I went into AA. And because I thought, well, that's where they fix people that have drinking problems.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Yeah. And so I walk in there, and I was very easy for me to admit I'm an alcoholic. Obviously, I'm an alcoholic because I'm in here. You know, I'm drinking too much. And I don't know why, but I am. So they said, okay, great. Just keep coming back. Here's a list of women to call if you want to drink. And here's a big book. And I'm like, okay. And so I took the book. I like books. I read. I'm a teacher. And so I didn't open it, though. I may have, but I didn't read it. I drank. and then I came back, and they're like, well, why didn't you call someone? And I'm like, how is that going to help me? I did not understand the correlation. Like, I kept going to meetings thinking someone was going to explain, like, the magic handshake or what it was. Like, why can't I stop drinking? And no one really talked about we didn't go through the book. Like, it was a lot of discussion.
Discussion on what, can I ask?
On their day.
Okay. Because you hear that, but it's like, well, what does that mean?
Yes, no. I mean, and then it was just, and it just made me want to drink more. I was just so confused. Now, I will say that I know that there were probably people there that were trying to get through to me. Right. I didn't hear it.
Right.
I did not hear it. All I remember and all I heard was the riffraff, the stuff that was not helpful.
The call me if you want to drink kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of my stuff that was unhelpful.
Yeah. So, and also I was looking for someone to date.
Ah, yes.
Because someone needed to fix me. And obviously it needed to be a good-looking guy.
For sure.
Sure, because that's a great place.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So many bad stories. Oh goodness. So yes, that's what I was doing. I was trying to fix myself from the outside. And all my life I realized I had always expected that. I'm very blessed to have been raised by wonderful parents. I'm an only child of two wonderful people who did an excellent job. And so it came to a very big surprise to all of us that we ended up here. Mm-hmm. But I always had the support and love of my dad. My mom passed away in 2009, which is the year everything went to crap. So again, I thought it was the things that were happening outside of myself that was the reason I was drinking that way. Mm-hmm. So it really made it even more difficult, I think, to accept that I was a real alcoholic. Never mind, I didn't understand really yet what that was. Right. That I couldn't teach. I lost my license. And then I was too proud to get a job doing anything else.
What grade did you teach?
Kindergarten.
Aww.
Yeah. It was really difficult. And I was so confused. Like, what has happened to my life? It was going along great. I had a beautiful home, and I lost it. I lost my home because I didn't think, I always thought that I had a picture in my mind of what my life was supposed to look like. And when that didn't work out that way, I wouldn't let go of that old idea. Well, for one thing, I didn't believe in God. So
you didn't?
I didn't.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So I really thought it was up to me to just get it together. I just needed to get it together. And if I can't do it, someone needs to help me. Help. Mm-hmm. It wasn't happening. I couldn't find it anywhere. No one wanted to take it on as a project. I tried. Oh my goodness, I was so needy. Oh wow, it's hard. It's hard to think about now. But
when did you end up at Maggie's for the first time? So the
first time, that's a great question. 2013. So I had been drinking already for about 4.5 years, and so I got to Maggie's, and thank God I did. I learned so much. It it was like I had been lost in a jungle, and then I found my people. Like I finally found some people. Like, oh my God, show me the way, and y'all did. And I really believed, it was the first time I really opened the book and we studied it. I thought it was more like a novel, and also that you started on page 1 like you do in any other book, and turns out there's a lot of good stuff before page 1.
Mm-hmm.
So here at Maggie's, we studied it, and we found out about the body and about the allergy, and then about the mind and the obsession, and it all made sense. It was really jumbled, though, in my mind.
Sure.
I had been drinking for a while, and I was pickled. I was in so much delusion that it was very, very difficult to break through.
Yeah, I'm sure, too, that there was that, well, I used to be that girl who could just have one drink. Why am I not that girl anymore?
Yes, and so it was like that. It was great information, and I needed to hear it, but I was not ready to let go of, I was more impressed about you guys. Like, wow, look at y'all. Like,
I'm so proud of you. Good for you.
I was. My dad, so I lost my car. So here I am in my late 30s and 40s, and my dad was taking me to AA meetings. And so he would drop me off at a meeting, and if I stayed at the meeting, sometimes I would leave with the guy. But if I did stay at the meeting, I would hear something, and I would get back in the car, and I'd tell Dad, oh my gosh, you should have heard this poor woman. I would be like, it was so sad. And he'd be like, Stacie, what about you? He could see it. People could see it. I could not see.
And were you still drinking?
Yes.
Okay, that's even better.
Yeah, no, I was just I was in so much delusion. But I had a lot of sympathy for you guys.
Yeah. You used one of my favorite words, delusion. Mm-hmm. My boyfriend gives me crap about it because whenever he talks about, because he's in recovery, and if he uses the word denial when we're talking about the mental obsession or anything like that, I'm like, it's not denial, it's delusion.
Words matter.
Yeah, it does. And so since you use that word too, which it's not just a word that I use, it's in the big book.
Right.
But can you talk to our listeners about the difference between delusion and denial and what it means to be in delusion?
Yes. So I love the big book so much, and I believe it was divinely inspired. It was, and this is from a girl that didn't believe in God, but obviously I do now. Mm-hmm. So delusional, they talk about delusional thinking, and I've looked it up, and it's believing a thing despite all the evidence to the contrary. It's believing this lie that there's evidence that that's not real. It's not real. Mm-hmm. And we don't know that. My way of thinking, to me, was my reality.
And it is.
It was.
Yeah.
There is no other reality because I don't live anywhere else except my brain.
Right. I love that.
And so that's what I knew. That was my truth. And to break my truth about who I am, how scary is that? That is so scary. And I think that's why... here it comes. But I think that's why I was protecting it. I think that's why my brain was protecting it, because it was trying to do its job. It was just off base. It wasn't, I don't know, it was in the wrong loop or whatever analogy you want to use. It was just, it wasn't working. It was no longer keeping me safe. I was insane around alcohol. So...
And it took a while for your delusions to be smashed.
It really did. And it was a piece-by-piece process.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yes. So I've been through the house 7 times through 2013 to 2018. And my sobriety date is August 15th, 2019. So, I mean, and that is a miracle. I mean, that's almost 3 years. And I was talking to my sponsor this morning, and I'm like, can you believe that when things get hard, I turn to God instead of a drink?
It's amazing.
And she was like, it's a miracle because she's been with me for, I think, 5 years now.
Really?
Yeah, we've been through the steps a few times. But again, yes, it was a piece-by-piece process. I think I needed each trip here for one reason or another. Like, I needed to hear the truth. And then I needed to come to believe that that truth applied to me.
Right.
And it was my 4th trip here. The 4th trip. I remember being in that old meeting room on Redwood. Lisa Kroenke was doing the meeting, and she was talking about step 1. She was being all passionate like she always is. And she was talking about step 1, and she was talking about how it's not that I can't drink or I shouldn't drink. I'm going to freaking drink. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to drink. I'm going to walk out of this house and drink. Like, I don't know when, but I'm going to do it if I don't do this work. Like, it was like a revelation, and it sounds so simple. Like, it is so simple, and yet it's so hard. Mm-hmm. It was hard for me to get from my brain to my heart, because then it still didn't happen then.
Right.
But it's almost like chipping away slowly until you reach the truth. And I finally hit that truth, and I'll say that the last time I relapsed, because Ainsley would always say, you can, I'll work with you. I'll be here anytime you want to go through the steps, She said, but the steps don't change. Like, you have to change. What's going to change?
I love that.
I know. And I'm like, I don't know. She goes, she goes, I think it's normally a first step problem. It's normally something that you just don't understand step 1. She goes, but I believe you do understand step 1. How did she put it? Like, you understand it academically. You can teach step 1. You know where to go in the book to find step 1. She goes, but you have told me in your own words that you could, when something bad would happen, you would hold aside, I can always do this again.
That is such a thing.
It is a thing.
Yeah.
That's where my brain would go. And I'm like, I'll just do it one more time. And she goes, but Stacie, you don't know if you're going to get sober again.
Right.
That's what's powerless. And I'm like, oh my God. It was like, I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. Like, I do. That's me thinking I have power.
For sure. I talk about it with the women in the house.
Yeah.
Especially the ones who've come back multiple times.
Yeah.
I'm like, how many of you have thought, well, I know what the solution is, so I'll just come back when it gets bad?
Yeah.
So many women raise their hand.
Yes.
And it's like exactly what you just said.
That's it.
Yeah.
My brain is lying to me.
Mm-hmm.
It is lying to me. And because it thinks that's my solution. It really does. And that is not my solution. That is a delusional lie.
Right.
I have had good friends. I had a best friend who died. She relapsed and did not get another chance. I don't know if I get another chance.
Right.
I should be dead. There's many times that I drank and put myself in harm's way. Whether it was in a car or with an unsafe person or just plain alcohol poisoning. Mm-hmm. I also got cancer in the middle of all of this.
Oh, yeah. I think Ainsley told me that, too.
And I drank through it. Like, it's insane. My first step, so I was in the hospital. I had no white blood count, people that came into the hospital room had to put on all the gear, and this was way before COVID. They had masks and all the stuff because they didn't want to get me sick. So that's how sick I was in the hospital. And so they were giving me pain medicine, but obviously it's not enough. It was just enough to turn on my allergy. It was miserable, and then I didn't have a spiritual connection. And so here I am, just miserable in the hospital. I'm calling people from AA, trying to get them to bring me alcohol.
Really?
To the hospital. And none of them did it.
Wow.
Yeah. Terrible times. So I decide to get out of my hospital gown, put on my street clothes, and go panhandle people, walk out of my room, panhandle them for money, walk out of the hospital, walk across the street, and buy alcohol. Wow. Yeah. And so that's the insanity around alcohol for me. Like, it was crazy. So I went through cancer, and it was difficult. I mean, I was really sick for about a year. I had breast cancer, I had the mastectomy and the chemo and I had complications and radiation. Anyway, I've been cancer free for 10 years.
That's awesome.
And it was hard, but it wasn't as hard as alcoholism.
I mean, I've never had cancer, but I can imagine.
Because my brain did not tell me I did not have cancer.
Right.
I mean, I wasn't fighting with myself. I was like, oh, I've got cancer. I better do what they tell me to do.
Wow.
Yes. And so I did it. But when I find out I have alcoholism, like, I just dig in my feet. I'm like, well, are we sure? I mean, maybe we can.
Because that's like almost, I mean, again, I've never had cancer, but it's like, I feel like that's almost, to an alcoholic, that's like almost worse, you know, to have alcoholism, because it's like you're taking away the one thing.
Well, yeah. And also, people aren't mad when you have cancer. They talk about it in the book.
Yeah, no, you have real life experience with this.
I'm like, that's true. Like, no one's mad at you when you have cancer. And it was kind of a nice break from disappointing everyone. Now, everyone was scared.
Right.
Like, I had a 10-year-old daughter and a 14-year-old son, and a dad who was terrified of losing his only child to 2 fatal diseases. You know, but I got through them. And it is on the other side of both of those today. And I have a connection with the higher power. And it's crazy. It's beautiful. And the best part of my life, I don't know, it's hard to say that best part, but I love coming here and sharing the message every other week on Saturdays, and then sponsoring. But that was another thing when I was the first few times I was in the house. I did not want any part of that.
Why?
Because
I hear people say that a lot.
All I wanted was the pain to go away. That's all I want to stop hurting people. I wanted to go back to my old life. And I didn't know yet that was not a possibility. And not only was it not a possibility, it's not something I would want now if I could.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that yet.
So sorry, I want you to talk about that. So, because there's so many people who have that. I just want to go back to my old life. And so what would you say to someone who's listening right now, who's literally experiencing that right now?
Sure. So I had that with, I hear that too when I'm doing the meetings here. So it's hard to hear, and it's hard to imagine. My life today is so much bigger and better, and it's because I'm not trying to control it. When I'm trying to control my life, at best, I get what I mentioned earlier, a mediocre life. So I thought I had to have custody of my children to be a good mom. when actually being a good mom was getting well and letting them be safe. And today they're grown and we have a great relationship. So it didn't look like what I thought it would be. Like I assumed that I would have these children and I would be the best mom, and I would go to all the school things, and I would be there, and I would show up, but I wasn't able to do that because I was very sick. But that's part of their story too. And it's beautiful today because I am part of their life. I thought that if I didn't have him, I wouldn't be okay. And I have a different him. And if I didn't have him and I had just me, that would be fine too. It's kind of funny because I've been married now for 3 years. And I remember when he asked me out, I was 7 months sober at the time. And I asked Ainsley, I'm like, this guy asked me out. I don't know.
How'd you meet him?
Well, I actually went to school with him.
Nice.
But we didn't know each other. Like, we knew of each other. Mm-hmm. It's Facebook. That's how we met.
I love that, though.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. So he messaged me, and he's like, are you still around? Are you single? And I'm like, and he was so polite, and he seemed so sweet and cute. And I'm like, I don't know. And she goes, well, do you want to go out with him? I'm like, maybe, but should I? And she goes, I don't know, but you're recovered. You're allowed to date. I'm like, I guess I can then. It was so weird. So I told him, I said, I can. So it's like I asked permission. But the funny part of this is that I swear it hadn't been 48 hours that I had told God, you know what? I finally feel okay. Like, if I stay single for the rest of my life, that's fine. Like, I'm good. I'm content. And then Ray popped up. But it really happened that way. It was really, really funny. Mm-hmm. And he's not one of us. But then I relapsed, and he bless his heart, I did a bait and switch with that man. So he saw sober Stacie, and then about 6, then he saw not sober, and he realized the difference. And then he was great. He read the book, and
really?
That's but
awesome.
He really understood the difference between a hard drinker and an alcoholic. He's like, you really have no control over it, do you? I was like, no, I really don't.
So when did you have alcoholism in your family?
Not that I know of.
So when did you finally realize, like, holy crap, like, I'm never going to be able to drink normally?
I think maybe it was in that 4th trip here, whenever I realized that first step, and also that beyond human aid that kept coming up in the book. It was talking about, kept going, like, we're beyond human aid, and that part of the book where it talks about, frothy emotional appeal, and it seldom suffices, and that's my children, and that's my dad begging me to stop. And I'm like, if I could stop based on my own willpower and my own desire, I would.
Yeah.
Like, I would have done it. I would, because I would die for my children without a second thought, but I could not stop drinking for them. And that's when I really realized, I'm like, I really can't control this. I will never be able to control this. And so if that's the case, and if I'm beyond human aid, like the book talks about, then that means there has to be something bigger than me. And I was, thank God, I mean, because I'm not big enough to do this on my own. And I had been exhausted trying to do life. It was so exhausting.
Oh gosh, I know.
And I can still get exhausted. And then when I do, I'm like, I get to step back. And that's what they talk about in the book, is a design for living, and I'm like, oh, that's what they're talking about. Like, I don't have to do this on my own. I don't have to manipulate this or that, or to get whatever it is I think I need. Like, my needs will be met. Like, he provides what we need if we stay close to him and do his work well. And it's working.
Yeah.
Like, it really is. It is that simple. But I make it so hard. I complicate it so much. And I think, there's that saying that people, I've heard throughout AA about, you can't be too dumb for this program, but you can be too smart. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, our brains are always steps ahead of us. Always. So I can't outdo it. I feel like I'm playing chess with it, and I'm never going to win.
Yeah.
So I need to give that part to God. And what's wonderful about this program is that it's this roomy, all-inclusive God. Like, I don't have to believe in what you believe or some, like, narrow definition, because that's what I was really fighting against. That's the prejudice I brought into the program. Because I was raised by parents who had both been raised in very fundamentalist, religions, and so they chose not to raise me in religion and to let me come up with my own beliefs.
Yeah.
So, at first I was like, why didn't y'all give me some kind of foundation? But they did. They did give me a foundation. It just wasn't in religion. Like, I knew right from wrong. And really what it talks about is that God is down deep inside of us.
That's one of my favorite lines.
Yes. He was always there.
Yeah.
Like, I remember being a little girl, and I would be so excited about going somewhere. And, like, right before I got there, I don't know, it's this weird thing that I would do in my head. And I'd cross my fingers, and I'd pray to God that we were going to all have a really good time.
I love that. It's so sweet.
Who was I praying to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your belief in God came from realizing that you were powerless.
Yes. Yeah.
How beautiful is that, though?
Yeah.
That's so good. So you came in your fourth time and you realized, holy crap, I'm never going to be able to drink normally. But then you've come in 3 more times since that fourth time and then drink again.
Yes.
And so what do you think it was whenever you realized that I'm never going to be able to drink normally again? Why do you think you kept relapsing?
I'm not sure I'm ever going to have a real good grasp of that. I do know that after that time, I did have an experience with God and with some serenity. But I didn't believe the importance of continuing to do this for the rest of my life. I still thought that it was more important that I get everything back. Like, I haven't been in my children's life for the last few years. I need to make sure that I prioritize them. I need to make sure that I get back in my career. I need to do this and that. And I was dictating what was important, what I needed to do, and I wasn't growing in my connection with God. And it's just a painful reminder that self-will, I was always getting in my own way. Like, I would put the cart before the horse and wonder why I couldn't get anywhere. Mm-hmm. Like, I was doing it backwards. And I didn't trust yet. I think I needed some time to trust in God, you know, and in the process, because all of this happened really quickly. I don't think I gave it enough time to, like, really let my connection grow, my experience helping others. Like, those things, the longer you do those things, the more it becomes second nature, and you can rely on the experience of that working when things do get rough. Mm-hmm. Like, even if my first thought is, what about drinking? it is immediately followed by what my truth is.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for that. Like,
restored to sanity.
Yes, I am. And I'm so grateful for that. And I stay grateful about it, even when, like, something rough is happening. Like, and I'm going through something right now with, one of my kids. And it's really painful and scary. And I have to realize that not only does God have me, He has her too.
Yeah.
So.
And for some reason, it can be harder to believe that
Sure.
than
Because
it is.
as a mom, I'm supposed to fix it.
Yeah.
Especially since I wasn't there before. Like, now I'm really here. So now we're just going to do it. And you're going to listen because I have all of this knowledge and I did it so you don't have to. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't actually work that way.
Yeah. So
it's hard. But again, I know my truth. Nothing would make anything worse more than drinking.
Now, I wanted to ask you something about your children, but first I wanted to ask this, and I've never asked it before on a podcast, but do you ever miss drinking?
Oh, God, no. No, I really don't. I do wish I could have that immediate gratification. But that is so elusive, and that was so fleeting that I don't even. I remember how it didn't work.
Yeah.
I wish when my husband and I go to a fancy restaurant and they hand us a wine list or something, or I look at the fancy drinks and I'm like, I wish I could order a fancy drink, and the waiter will say, what would you like, and I'm like, I used to joke about it, and now I don't know, it's lost its humor to me, but it was fine at the time. I'd be like, I don't have enough alcohol here, there's not enough here. And my kids would just roll their eyes, so I try not to embarrass them anymore.
So with your children, I think I remember, I'm really weird about the things that I remember, but I think it was you where you posted something in Maggie's women's group about wanting to find support for your son, maybe?
It was
or
my
your
daughter. Wow, I can't believe you do remember that. Yeah.
Well, I was very touched by it because you wanted to show her that she could be. She was very angry with you, and you wanted somebody to talk to her to let her know that she can be okay regardless of how you're doing.
Yeah.
So, do you mind talking about like the journey that you've had with your children and?
Yes, I will try. I'm such a crier, but yeah, it was hard. It was so hard. I really wanted to be a good mom, and it was really painful. It was really painful losing custody and not being a full-time mom. And it seemed like the more I needed to show up, the more important it was. Like if it was a birthday or something, that's when I would get drunk and I wouldn't be there. It was awful. So talk about guilt. I mean, so much guilt.
How old were your kids whenever you started drinking alcoholically?
So about 5 and 9.
Okay.
Yeah. So my son is the elder, and he remembers. They both remember when I didn't drink. And he just graduated with a degree in psychology. And I'm really sure that a big part of that is he was trying to figure out what was wrong with Mom. Like, he was just going to figure it out. He wrote in 8th grade, he wrote a paper, and he called me up and he asked me if, he said, I'm writing a paper on someone I admire. And I'm like, oh. And he said, yeah, I was wondering, can I know that it's anonymous, but can I use your story? And I'm like, oh. That is so touching. I said, of course you can. And he goes, yeah, I'm going to write about Bill Wilson.
Oh my God, I love that.
I was like, okay, well, yeah, he's a pretty good guy.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, I thought it was about me.
I know,
No, it was about Bill Wilson. He saved his mom's life.
But that is huge.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. My kids know about Bill Wilson, and they would go to meetings with me. So, yeah, they were raised by their dad and stepmother, and that was really, really hard because I didn't want to get divorced, and I didn't want to lose him to someone else, and then I certainly didn't want them to raise my children.
Right, yeah.
But again, I'm grateful that they did not have to see the worst of me, and that they were most of the time safe from that. I did drive drunk with them, and that was just terrifying to think about. But the thing is, and this is something that Preston has said recently, he's like, I always knew that you were trying. Like, it was just, they never doubted that I wanted to drink over them. So I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful that I had the support of my dad that was able to make sure that we were all together. Like, I wasn't able to make that happen. Like, so I was able to stay in their lives on a fairly consistent basis. And then today, like, my daughter lives with us. She's 20. And then my son just graduated from college and got a big boy job, and he moved back to Dallas. And so I get to see him on a regular basis and be there for him. I mean, and someday, hopefully soon, I'll be a grandma. And that's one thing that my son told me when I was really drinking. He said, someday when the time comes and there's grandbabies, you're not going to be around my kids until you're sober for a year. And all I heard, it hurt so badly. All I heard was that you're not going to be around my kids. And I'm like, but I told him, I said, I understand. Like, I do. I mean, that tells me that he's going to care about his kids, Mm-hmm. And I told him about that recently. He goes, yeah. And I was like, I've been sober for 2.5 years. He said, well, you're not getting grandkids right now. But, I mean, that's the beauty of this program. Like, I tell women, I don't know what it's going to look like for you. Like, I can't promise you that what happened for me will happen for you. But I do know that if you stay close to him and do his work well, he provides what you need. Mm-hmm. And I know that it's beautiful. Like, I couldn't have manipulated this life that I have now. I couldn't have made it happen. It's because I let God work.
Yeah. And, I was just thinking as you were talking, like, we live in a world that's so much like you got to make it happen, yes. Right? Like,
I thought that's what I was supposed to do.
You got to, like, put in the work and, like,
hustle.
Yeah, hustle. But here we are saying, like, I can't control my life. I have to step back. And so somebody could be listening, that could sound like absolute blasphemy, right? But what is it, like, what does it even mean to, like, step back and not control your life? Like, how does somebody even learn how to do that?
Steps 1 through 12. Because, again, I wouldn't have known how to do that either. So it was weird. I used to have that question. I'm like, well, I don't understand. If God can take this from me, like, why doesn't he just do it? Why? And here's the thing. God does for us what we can't do for ourselves. Like, there are things that I can do and should do. And it's in that doing that I grow.
What are those things?
I like that. So what are those things? That is the action that I take. That is the prayer. That's seeking God. That's helping others. It's doing the next right thing. And that is generally, it's not in a direction towards what Stacie wants or needs. Like, if I'm doing it to get something for me, then that is such a narrow goal that it's not, I don't know, I'm going down a rabbit hole, but I don't know. I've lost my train of thought with that.
Well, it was going in a good direction. So you were saying that, like, if you're making it about you.
Yeah. So if it is about me, then it is selfish, and it's not going to be what's in the best interest of everyone. Like, and you know, I used to be so confused by that. Like, am I supposed to be completely selfless? Like, am I supposed to be like this angel? That's not going to happen. Of course not.
Right.
Like, I get angry. I get resentful. I get jealous. I'm a human being. I have all the emotions still. I just know that I'm not attached to those things like I used to be. That's not, like, I know what to do with those. I don't have to sit in it and let it fester. I don't know.
I mean, I'm so glad that you said that, though, too, because I think, again, that kind of goes against what, and like, we're inherently, like, taught, or what we think we know and everything. Is like, of course I have to look out for me. Right? Like, of course I do. But then it's contradictory that when I don't do that, it actually ends up working out better for me.
Yes, that's it. Exactly it. It is that. That is it. Like, we are here to help each other. Like, I have no doubt about that. And I know that, so I didn't want to do this when I was first here, because, again, I wanted the pain to stop. And I didn't think I had anything to offer. Like, and I thought, well, maybe I can whenever I'm better. And no, it's like, as soon as you get through these steps, you need to start looking to someone else. And it's the act of helping someone else is actually what helps bring us up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's counterintuitive.
For sure.
Like, I have an empty cup. How am I supposed to pour you anything? But as soon as I start pouring, both our cups get filled.
I love that.
Isn't it true, though?
Yes.
I mean, I'm like, but I couldn't see it before. And that's what was so hard, because I couldn't see it. If I couldn't see it and I didn't have faith that it was going to happen, I didn't trust it enough to take that step to do it. But the only way that I could trust it is that I didn't trust me at all. And I had to trust someone. I had to trust that the lady sitting in front of me drank like I did. I didn't have to drink like that anymore because of these things. You know, she took these steps. She lets a power that's greater than herself. She looks to that power to be in charge of her life today. And thank God I don't have to be in charge of my life today. I did a terrible job. I love that part in the book where it says we have a new director, you know, a new employer. I'm like, thank goodness, because this girl needs to be fired.
I know, right?
So, yeah, it just makes it so much easier. I love that part because I was like, I could so see. I'm doing my part. I'm going to show up and do my part. But also, we need to rewrite these lines. And we need to do a whole new soundtrack and the lighting is terrible, and like I knew what everyone else needed to do, but I didn't know what my part was. I couldn't do it. I don't know. It just really made a lot of sense to me. And then it was also like, quit looking, don't look at me.
Yeah. No, it's very, very freeing.
Mm-hmm, it is.
It's like taking all that pressure off of
Yeah,
yourself.
I grew up with that weight, and I didn't know what that weight was. I always thought that everyone knew something that I wasn't told.
I know exactly what you mean.
And I couldn't let them know that I didn't know. And that part in the book where it says the alcoholic leads a double life, oh my gosh, that was me. Like, I can't let them know I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So then I felt like a fraud to everyone. Like, everyone. Even to myself. We don't have to live like that.
No. And that's freeing.
Yes.
And that's how we get to look the world in the eye and look at ourselves in the mirror.
And have confidence.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what.
I know.
It's so good.
It's so good. And it just comes from, like, living a life of integrity.
Yes. Which, sounds really hard.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I can't. I already thought I was a good person.
Yes.
But I had good intentions. I just couldn't follow through with them no matter how much I tried.
Yeah.
So.
I love that. Well, how is Stacie's life today?
It is big. It's big. It used to be so small. I used to sit on, for months, I was literally on a couch in the dark with my phone watching Netflix. It was so sad for months and months and months. Today, I have had a job for over 3 years. That's been.
Are you teaching again?
No. I tried and that didn't work out again. So that's another example of me letting go of the result. But here's the cool thing. I have a second interview at a place where I would be teaching in schools about drug and alcohol.
Wow.
I'm like, I couldn't have made that happen.
That's amazing.
Like, it really is crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm employable. I show up to my family. My dad lives with me now in a home, that I pay for every month. Like, I have good credit now. I'm married.
I remember whenever we did this before it was a podcast,
Yes.
you were in the process of buying a house, correct?
Yes.
So you bought the house.
We did.
How amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's wonderful. I went from living in a little tiny shack with like no shower to I have a 4-bedroom home, and it's just like I have what I need. Like, it's so cool.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe my husband was like, we need to go get a house. I'm like, honey, we can't. Our credit's still bad. He's like, well, let's try. And I'm like, okay. And it just worked. It was easy. I don't know. I still don't know. I drive up to my house every day, and I'm grateful for my house.
I love that.
We have family get-togethers, and I show up to them. Like, it's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I get to come up here and share my experience, strength, and hope. I have sponsees that are doing amazing, and it's so cool to get to see their miracle too. Like, my miracle's not enough. I need theirs too.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Like, I was not willing to do that before. And how sad that I almost missed out on that.
For sure.
It's just, it really, now, do I get in fear? Yeah, I do. But then there is, like, I know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
It just is so great. It's so much bigger.
Yeah. I love that. It's so much bigger.
Mm-hmm.
That's so good. Well, before I ask the wrap-up question, which this has been so good, by the way.
It has. It's been great.
Yeah, it's so inspiring. Do you have a favorite part in the book that you would like to read?
It's always hard. It's like asking who's my favorite kid.
Yes, I love that analogy too.
It is. Well, I'll tell you the part that I end up on pretty regularly. Let's see. Okay. On page 25, the great fact is just this and nothing less, that we've had deep and effective spiritual experiences which have revolutionized our whole attitude toward life, toward our fellows, and toward God's universe. The central fact of our lives today is the absolute certainty that our Creator has entered into our hearts and lives in a way which is indeed miraculous. He has commenced to accomplish those things for us which we could never do by ourselves.
Love it. Oh, yeah, it's so weird. I was thinking of when you were talking, having the title of this podcast be something along the lines of God will do for us what we can't do for ourselves, because that's just kind of like the theme that's been through this whole conversation.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, my final question is, what would you want to say to the listener who is maybe trying to get sober, stay sober, is suffering? If they weren't going to hear anything but this like one thing, what would you want to make sure that they left hearing?
Don't believe the lie. Don't believe the lie that your mind is telling you you can't get sober. Because it is a lie. It's a delusion, and it's not true. Because I almost believed it. I was praying that cancer would come back so that I could die. Because I really believed I was not capable of being sober. So I just don't believe that lie.
I love that so much. So good. Well, thank you so much to our listeners. If you've loved what you heard, please share with a friend or share with somebody that you think this would be helpful to. Upload it to your Instagram stories and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Rate us on Spotify so we can get this beautiful message of experience, strength, and hope out to reach more people and the people that it needs to. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you so much, Stacie, for being here. I have the best job in the world.
You do.
And to everyone listening, I will catch you all on the next episode. Bye.
We hope you've enjoyed this From the Vault re-release of the Magdalen House podcast. Tune in every first and third Wednesday for a release from one of our 3 podcast series. To learn more about the Magdalen House and the services we offer, visit magdalenhouse.org or follow us on your favorite social media channels by searching for the Magdalen House.